Hello. 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 We're recording, right?
Yeah, I'm just getting up the grid.
Getting up the finish. Welcome back to the weekend review of the F1 and...
Yep.
Mate, Jeddah. What an interesting...
Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max, Super Max, 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 Super Max.
Not a good day to be a Hamilton, Ricciardo, McLaren, Mercedes, Aston Martin,
actually,
Williams,
Yep.
Alonso, a bunch of different fans.
Latifi.
Schumacher.
Yeah.
It was wild, man.
It was a pretty crazy race, wasn't it?
From practice,
Yep.
it looked pretty dominant, like Red Bull, Ferrari as expected.
Yeah, that's a given at the moment.
But then from quali, like first of all, biggest upset straight off the bat, Hamilton out
in Q1.
P16 Q1.
They just ran a different setup, apparently.
I think they just went down the completely wrong avenue with their setup.
Toto said they did something interesting to the rear of Lewis's car.
Yeah.
He just could not.
There was nothing he
grip
could
in that
do.
car.
Yeah.
Couldn't turn the mediums on.
And the problem is he
he
didn't have time because they thought that they could just do the second lap fast enough. So he didn't have time to go in the pits and put on some fresh softs to try again. So he just went like 4 because he messed one up. 4 flying laps on the same set of like softs.
Yeah.
So
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster for that.
Lewis couldn't find the pace, and
Yeah.
even said he said he didn't know where he was losing, couldn't find the time. But like you watch, the way George's car, I guess, set up
Looked
was
on
working
rails
for him, and it was
comparatively. It still looks shit.
they still made a lot of progress
Yeah.
from Bahrain to there.
Yeah, and that was with nothing other than just changing the setup a little bit because they haven't had time to put parts on.
No,
So people don't think there's going to be much of a difference with Australia. The biggest
is Melbourne
one,
next week or week after?
week after
Yeah,
for
so
my
you got 2
birthday.
weeks.
And then the biggest change I think people are expecting is Imola, which is after
Everyone's
Australia.
calling Imola.
Yeah,
Even
which is after
McLaren said
Australia.
Imola. They reckon they'll have a big development.
because that gives them like a month
Yeah,
or even more, 6 weeks I think. So
Mercedes. Yeah, they did look better. Even like as I say, McLaren looked a lot better at Bahrain. At Jeddah.
I
But
think it's because they didn't have slow corners.
it's a high speed circuit.
Yeah,
And the
so
McLaren struggles.
yeah.
And I thought they'd address
and the
that.
Mercedes, they both said that the high speed corners they're good with, the slow speed corners they suck, and straight line speed they suck. So Jeddah they were a little bit better because there was a lot of high speed corners, but then just like how
DRS down the main straight
just
again,
how
so
like
it's
Red
powerful.
Bull dominated Ferrari. Ferrari were good in the first sector, and then from there Red Bull were just chopping.
Yeah, the Ferrari was Leclerc was on average, I think, about 4 tenths up in the first sector on Verstappen, and then
he
Red
reeled it
Bull
all
just
back
reel it
and
in.
some. And then come quali obviously Hamilton out. That was
Yep.
the biggest upset. Schumacher massive crash. Latifi crashed out as
35
well.
Gs.
Yeah, it was
On
ridiculous.
Schumacher's crash.
And he wasn't like moving in the cockpit for ages.
But apparently, I was listening, obviously watched it all. The cars are designed to separate like that.
Yeah.
To reduce the loads going to the driver.
Yeah,
So it
they
looks a lot
designed
worse
to
than it is.
crumple, but like still 35 Gs, bro.
Well, I
It's
mean,
ridiculous.
Verstappen's was about 56 at Silverstone.
Yeah, but that was into tires, so I don't understand like how they measure the Gs. Hey, because
There'll
the
be a
initial
sensor.
impact would have been 56, but then Schumacher's crash would have been way harder than what Verstappen's
reckon?
was. Yeah, Verstappen's was like slowed down from gravel, and then the
But he
tires.
still hit that wall
Still
at
hit it
56
hard.
Gs of force.
He hit
and
the
there'll be a
tires at 56
Yeah, but that still means 56 Gs have gone through that chassis. Whereas
and been absorbed though. That's what I'm
depends
saying.
where they got the sensor though. If they're wearing it on their suit,
Yeah.
race suit,
But I think that the crash looked worse, 100% for like.
because he hit that wall and
Schumacher.
then bounced straight onto the other
Yeah.
wall. I watched it and I was like, and then when I didn't see him moving in the cockpit, I was like,
oh no.
fuck.
Especially because literally like a few days ago, I was talking about how I'd seen that center crash again, or the first time.
That was crazy, by the way.
That one was
I
hard.
actually never
That was
watched
hard
it
to
until you
watch.
said it.
Yeah,
When I watched it back, and I was like, damn.
yeah.
But
Yeah, they crashed out. And
yeah, I was
then
just listening to the commentators though, and they've actually designed it so the rear gearbox of the car will come
splits.
away
Yeah.
from the
If
survival.
you think about it, it becomes a bomb.
Yeah,
Essentially, it could do. So if it's on fire, you're in some trouble.
Gunter's punch in the air though. That's an
Yeah,
expensive
that's an
fix. That's a whole new
expensive
car,
fix.
pretty much.
Yeah, but no, it was good to see that he was okay, but he didn't do the race, and then so that was delayed. Latifi and Schumacher out, Hamilton out.
Because Q2 went forever, bro. I
Q2
think it was about a 55-minute wait
yeah,
or
a
something like
long
that for the
time.
resumption of the race or the qualifying.
Yeah, I fell asleep for that, and then woke up as Q3 was finishing.
Mm.
So Q2, standard people got knocked out. And in Q3, so Red Bull have been looking like good this whole time. Like they weren't really piecing together as many laps, but Red Bull looked really strong.
Mm.
And then come the end, Leclerc, pole, and then Perez came through with a flyer.
Absolute beautiful
Pure
lap, man.
pace, he beat Verstappen.
Yeah.
And put it on pole, Verstappen
Sainz
third,
beat Verstappen.
Sainz fourth.
Sainz is lacking in that.
Yeah, Sainz third, Verstappen fourth.
fourth.
So you can't say to me when Verstappen is leaps and bounds above Perez that Red Bull wasn't a faster car that weekend.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's beside the point. So that's what the grid looked like. It was an interesting quali.
It was a bit.
Yeah, and then the start kind of fell into place pretty seamlessly. Perez got a good jump.
Just quickly though,
Yeah.
Ricardo with a three place good penalty for impeding Ocon.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was on his race engineers though.
Yeah.
Ricardo had no clue that Ocon was coming around that car. And
Yeah.
Jeddah's a pretty blindsided circuit.
That's a really bad track to not have communication coming your way.
It's dangerous.
Regardless of whether it was Ricardo's or the engineer's fault, like it was a deserved penalty.
Well, Ricardo was like, I had no clue it was coming, and the race
Yeah.
engineers were like, yeah, we didn't tell Ricardo.
Yeah.
And that circuit, having played it not only on F1 2021,
But watching
but also actually watching it,
Yeah.
there's a lot of blind corners, man.
I'm still like hesitant as to whether that circuit should
I don't think it's safe.
be on the calendar.
I
Money
get street
talks.
circuits, man,
Oh,
but
we're forgetting the biggest fucking thing that happened. That,
mishap strike.
yeah, a mishap
next
strike
door.
on the oil plant, whatever it's called. And the race still went ahead from that.
Money talks, mate. How much extra do you reckon Saudi Arabia pumped into the F1 to say we want that race to go ahead?
Tons. The rumor was that the Saudi Arabian government, I think, essentially threatened the drivers, saying that like if you don't race, it's gonna be very hard for you to leave Saudi Arabia. So they're like hovering that over their head. So initially, not all the drivers agreed to it, and then it was a unanimous decision after further information that they wanted to race. I can guarantee you, not all of those drivers would have felt safe at
Hamilton
all.
wouldn't have wanted to race.
Hamilton wouldn't have wanted to race at all.
Vettel wouldn't have wanted to race.
Yeah.
Who else don't you reckon? I don't reckon Ricardo would have been too thrilled.
I think Fernando would have only wanted to race because Hamilton didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I think Fernando would have wanted to race.
Fernando has a hate.
Max
boner for
wanted to
Hamilton.
race. Fernando and Max are fucking best friends. Fernando loves Max.
Yeah.
Who else do I reckon?
But
I don't reckon Russell would have wanted to race. I don't think
Yeah.
Bottas would have wanted to race.
It was just like a.
I don't
that
think they should have
shouldn't-
raced, man.
As much as a viewer, I was happy they were racing because I was like, I don't want to wait another weekend.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have raced.
No way.
So anyway, race starts. Perez gets a good jump.
Good jump, actually.
Very good jump. Leclerc ahead. Verstappen gets past Sainz, leaving him room, which is uncharacteristic of Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like basically Red Bull, Ferrari, Hamilton.
Sainz was dropping back at a rate, though.
Yeah, Sainz was dropping
after
back.
5 or 6
Leclerc's
laps,
outclassing Sainz at the moment, and I think that's going to be the trend for the whole season.
Yeah.
I think Leclerc's a bit, he's out for revenge after last season being, outdone, outscored.
He just looks really comfortable in that car, man.
Like,
He's pushing
he looks like he's loving that car.
Yeah.
Hamilton, throughout the whole first stint, was chopping through the field.
Drove really well.
He
Hamilton
drove really
on the
well.
hards.
He was matching Russell on new hards with
And
old
he was 30,
times. Yeah, 30 laps
at that
old.
stage when Russell just had him on. I think he was
Yeah.
31 or 32 laps
Yeah.
in.
But anyway, Perez pits, because it's about pit stop time. It's like 12, 15, whatever lap
He was
it
going for
was.
the undercut.
Yeah,
pit
going
stop
for a little bit
overtake.
just to increase the gap. And then Latifi,
Again.
crashes and calls out a safety car. And it's too early for all the hard runners, which was Magnussen, Hulkenberg, and Hamilton, to pit. So they stayed out.
That pit stop
But it meant-
screwed Perez over, though.
Screwed Perez big time. Perez came out in third, which in turn ended up being in fourth because he actually illegally overtook Sainz past the safety car line.
Yep.
So Perez ended up going from first to fourth, and he was comfortable out front. Like, he looked, all things going well,
He looked
like
good.
he was going to win. And Verstappen got the jump, so he was second, and Leclerc was first. And it kind of screwed
Leclerc pretty much got a
Yeah.
half price pit stop at that stage.
Yeah, and it kind of
Went from
screwed
19.
Hamilton and Magnussen and everyone up because everyone got their free pit stop. And then, but it's Jeddah, so there's a good chance there's going to be another safety car. So it wasn't,
Which is what everyone was banking on.
yeah. And so they didn't pit Hamilton.
I even reckon that's what McLaren would have been banking on because
Yeah.
they pitted Danny Rick on lap 8
Yeah.
for hards.
So, and then, restart happens and it's just kind of like falling back into place. Hamilton's still making moves through the field, fending off Alonso, who was on fresh hards, and then got past Magnussen, and they were just like chopping through the field and doing well. And then it was getting around pit stop time for the hards, and then there was a VSC. And it was still too early to pit if you're on hards, but there was a virtual safety car that came out because Ricardo broke down and so did Alonso.
Just outside of pit lane, lost
Just
all
outside
drive.
of pit lane, both of them.
I'm actually gutted for him, eh? McLaren, I really thought this year in Barcelona
They look
testing,
so good, and that's why you never
McLaren
judge
looked
testing.
phenomenal. And DR even said this car suits me better. He was quick, and then come out
I think it's
in
because
Bahrain and the car was shit.
I think these brakes have thrown a massive curveball. and
Apparently, it's not brakes, bro.
Yeah.
They reckon they fixed the brakes. They just don't have the downforce.
It's
Like
so
that setup is not
strange.
producing downforce.
How do they do so well at like Barcelona?
I
Maybe
feel
it's just
really
this-
bad for him, bro, because I really thought the change of regs
I hope
this
you
year
know it would have been his first Australian Grand Prix in how long? He can't even
2 years,
3 years.
2 or 3 years. What was the first time this break when he came home? Was the first time he came home in 2 years?
So
But yeah, he retired, and then lap after Alonso retired
Yeah.
in pit lane.
well, they're both in pit lane, and so Hulkenberg and Magnussen managed
Yep,
to pit.
Hulkenberg.
Hamilton didn't because technically they're blocking pit lane entry. So I don't think he or the team, either of them, knew that they could pit or not. I don't know, but they left him out.
Yep. The
And-
commentators were saying, I don't know if you can pit yet. Or
Yeah, exactly. And then so and it was a virtual safety car. So they were banking maybe there's a safety car. There never was. And they were making Hamilton stay back. He was 6 seconds behind Russell. And they make him stay back 20 seconds from Russell so that he'd have time in case pit lane opened before he went past pit lane to pit under the VSC. Didn't work out. Restart happens. He's lost 15 seconds on Russell. He still has to pit. They're at race pace. He pits. He
Yeah.
ends up coming out 14th. Makes it back into 10th. Finishes in
Mhm.
the points. Everything else in the middle of the field is pretty much as per.
As per you,
Yeah, and then near the end, Verstappen and Leclerc going at it.
I'm loving the racing this year, though. Those cars definitely
They
can
can
follow
follow
close to
closer.
each other.
It's
Through
good.
the corners, they
It
look
is
a lot
really
better.
good to see.
And
Yeah,
I'm just happy that someone's racing Max hard.
he's not even got to that point yet, though.
Not yet.
But the
I
elbows
was
are gonna
thinking
come out.
Bahrain that like Leclerc was putting his elbows out a little bit and was going, "You think you get an easy overtake on me?"
Yeah,
But at
but the
Jeddah,
funny
bro,
thing,
just good racing.
yeah, the funny part was when there's a DRS line before the last corner that whoever is behind by that line is in the
Just
better
gets the
position.
DRS.
So, first time round, Leclerc strategically gets overtaken by Verstappen so that he gets the DRS, gets Verstappen back in the first corner. Second time, I think Verstappen stays back but can't get Leclerc, or it's the other way around. But either way, stays back, can't get Leclerc for the first corner, and it's play on. But one of the times, Verstappen goes to go on the inside, but he knows he wants to be the second one to the DRS line. Leclerc also knows this, so they both pretty much lock up to an
Yeah,
almost
they both locked up.
standstill. And it was actually really interesting to watch, like a chess match. And then Leclerc realizes, I'm not going to be first to the DRS zone. He then takes off, gaps Verstappen, and still ends up winning out in the first corner. So, yeah, he was chilling. It was good to
Yeah.
watch. So,
It was actually funny. Leclerc got the way better exit out of that corner
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It was actually funny because I remember watching it. And Max was on the inside, Leclerc on the outside. Max locked up, Leclerc kept going, then he locked up.
Yeah,
and then-
it was just like this,
and
and I was
Leclerc
like,
just had that drive
Yeah,
straight
just
out of that
took
corner,
off.
man. That
I was
Ferrari
like, that
was,
was smart. That was,
yeah. The Ferrari was obviously running more downforce. The fact that they could go 4/10 up in that first sector,
yeah, but Red Bull's just got a missile, man. On those
just
straights.
missile on the
It's
straights.
so
It's about
fast.
12. Didn't they say it was 12 k's quicker on the straights without
than the
DRS?
Mercedes. Yeah. 9Ks, 12Ks, doesn't matter. That's a lot.
It's a lot in F1.
Especially without DRS.
That DRS on the main straight of Jeddah was powerful. Though.
It was. But no, it was a great little chess match to watch. Leclerc's really showing his maturity these first two races.
Mm-hmm.
He's changed a lot as a driver over the last couple of seasons being in a midfield team.
It's just the fact that he's, I guess, had to race more people in the midfield. And he's also had a few years in this. He's had a lot. He's had more than a few. How long's he had in F1 now?
I think
5 or 6 years, eh?
5 years, maybe 6 years. He looks like he is much more composed and ready to deal with the pressure of fighting for a championship fight than Verstappen looked at the start of the year.
He just looks calm.
He just looks confident in the car. He looks ready. So, and Verstappen's proven as a champion. Controversy aside, anyone deserved the championship. Whoever won that deserved it. So it's going to be a good battle, and I don't think Mercedes will join them. I think Mercedes are going to be fighting.
I don't think you rule him out yet, buddy.
Not for a championship, not for a
Verstappen,
World Drivers
you don't reckon?
Championship. Maybe
WDC?
maybe for constructors. Because you've got Russell
you
and
reckon?
Hamilton, who, if they have a functioning car,
I don't know, man.
I think Verstappen and Leclerc are going to be 1 and 2
Yep.
for the next 5-6 races. And you think Hamilton's scraping by with 10 points, same with Russell. That's a big gap.
Man,
It's a 23 race season though. It's a big.
Leclerc's
season.
out in front by a clear margin because Max DNF'd the first race, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of context. You don't know what's going to happen. Red Bull proven that they're not the most reliable engine out there.
Mm.
If Red Bull have another DNF and Mercedes pull their shit together with Imola and they're out there fighting at the front, Hamilton's an exceptional driver. Like, everyone goes, it's the car. But
Yeah,
I think you put anyone in any of we'll say the W11, you put any driver on the grid in a W11 against Hamilton,
He still wins.
Hamilton will shit all over them.
Yeah. It's.
I don't think you can rule them out yet.
Yeah.
I think clearly Red Bull, Ferrari are your favourites, but I don't think you can count out Hamilton, Mercedes, Russell even. I don't think any other teams will get close to them, but
I
Mercedes
think McLaren will be up there
Eventually.
But Ferrari and Red Bull are still so far ahead that if Mercedes join them, that's top 3 secured already.
Yeah.
So McLaren's fighting for 4th again.
Yep.
Against Alpine probably by the looks of it.
Alpine does look quick.
Yeah.
They all look quick. All the Ferrari powered cars are actually quick. Alpine's obviously Renault,
But yeah. It's an interesting season, and
it is, man.
it's Australia next. It's Melbourne.
Keen. I'm pissed we're not going. I'm still tempted to find a ticket last minute and go.
Just
Dad
dip.
said he'd come with me,
Yeah, right.
but I'm not sure yet. I don't know if I can get time off work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thanks
Exciting
for
times.
tuning into episode 2 of the F1 recap.
Yeah. It's and many more to come. 22 more to come.
Yep. You see, they reckon that they could have the possibility for 30 race season.
I'm down.
I'm all for it, but that's a lot of races.
It's a lot of reliability. Who knows?
Do you reckon if they do a 30 race season, that they give them one more engine and all that crap?
Yeah. 100%. That's 7 extra races.
But I feel
this
like-
is already a record long season.
I feel like the penalty for an engine at the moment really is fuck all. The advantage you get taking
Dude,
a new engine.
if you're a top team, you're still going to come top 6.
Yeah.
Even if you start in last.
Was it Verstappen that took the engine penalty and finished second last year?
Yeah, because of Russia.
And then did not Hamilton do it as well at one point? Yeah, Hamilton came back and did it too.
Yeah, Hungary.
And Red Bull really thought that they were
Yeah.
going to have a mad advantage, and Hamilton came back and finished like second or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
that
well.
was Brazil. He won, starting in last.
Mm.
But Russia, Verstappen was 9th or 8th, and then everyone went off the track because Landa didn't pit for intermediates. There's so many things that happened last season that you're like, if that one thing changed, the whole championship would have changed.
Yeah.
Both ways. But
And it's funny listening to people that are just getting into F1 and like my mate's like, I had a multi on, man. I can't believe it didn't win. And I was like, bro, you need to understand that anything can happen. Like, I don't care if
it doesn't matter.
every other.
It takes one safety car, one red flag.
It just takes one crash, one reliability issue, one puncher.
It's going to keep stabbing me in the heart every time I bring it up. But literally last year, Abu Dhabi was the best example of that.
Because I was hosing, saying Hamilton's got him. Max wasn't catching him, and then that happened.
Mm.
But
But anyway,
I kept saying to him,
so no one knows what's going to happen this season.
nah, still young. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
I think the first episode did alright.
Yeah, you did alright considering. Like
Yeah,
we
people actually-
didn't make the channel for the F1 reviews, so
No.
still good to see. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.
Cheers.